Terence Crawford mentioned that the junior middleweight division has nothing to offer. That's why he just went straight up to super middleweight to challenge Canelo, because unlike Canelo Alvarez, the fighters at the 154-pound division does nothing for his career or his legacy. So Terence Crawford, in an interview with Dan Rafael, said the following, and I quote, "You know, at first, Turkey felt I should fight somebody else at 154. Go and try to become undisputed at 154, but those guys at 154 didn't do too much for me or my career. So why not go up and challenge myself to fight another all-time great in Canelo?" Now folks, with that said, the three narratives being pushed here are the following. First, Crawford is indeed sincere about doing this fight for the sole purpose of his legacy. This is the narrative the Nebraska fan club is pushing. The second one, and this is from the Canelo fanbase's perspective, is that Crawford is doing this for the big payday. Now the third one, which honestly makes a lot more sense for me personally, is that it's a little bit of both. The thing is, if Crawford wins, then obviously he becomes undisputed super middleweight champion and pockets a guaranteed $50 million. If he loses, he still gets the money and won't likely be criticized as much, mainly due to the fact that he's the one jumping divisions and has been generally perceived as the quote-unquote smaller guy, even though he and Canelo are actually the same size. It's basically trying to hit two birds with one stone, and even if you end up missing one bird, at least you still get to hit the other one and you still end up getting rewarded for that. This is also likely the reason why Canelo Alvarez is getting paid $150 million versus Crawford's $50 million. Because if you really think about it, Canelo has a lot more to lose if he ends up losing, and the only thing he has to gain from this fight is solely the money. That's it. Canelo didn't really need to fight Crawford for legacy, despite him now selling this as a legacy fight. Now, even though both Canelo and Crawford are saying that this is for their legacies, and while there may be some truth somewhere in that statement, let's be real, the money was the biggest deciding factor. Even a blindfolded stuck-in-the-basement Stevie Wonder can see this. The amount of money that Crawford will get by fighting Canelo is equivalent to him fighting multiple times in a year for several years, especially if you consider the fact that Crawford has only been competing once a year for quite some time now. With that said, Canelo Alvarez may be a high-risk opponent. However, win or lose, Crawford will gain so much more from this fight in comparison to him fighting other opponents at 154 or 160. Even if Crawford loses, at least he lost to Canelo and he still gets paid a lot of money. But if Crawford were to lose to other fighters and a bad payday, well, that's just a nightmare scenario. Anyway, what are your thoughts about this? Let me know in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, please don't forget to click that like and subscribe button for more quick talks.